Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a quick look here at XRP, seeing what's going on. It actually broke through that resistance level we expected, mainly because of the fact that we swept that liquidity. Okay, now typically what happens when you sweep liquidity here is you shoot up above it and you come back down to retest and then continue. Okay, that's a normal continuation, right? You got to keep in mind too, though, with the market the way things are, XRP is a good signal for the market actually moving in a good direction, or mostly just say a bearish indication. So with XRP doing well, that tells us that the market is doing pretty decent in the overall sense of things. That said, that has really nothing to do with the reason why it's moving, but the truth is here, with it actually coming up here, we want to see if this level here at about 58.6 holds, and if so, then there's a good chance we can take a long from there. But it's common for the previous high to be broken and for that to be a new support level. So we got some awesome stuff there going on. We're going to look at some other indications as well. We have a hidden bearish divergence on Bitcoin, so we got to be mindful that that could possibly sway things in a different direction here for this coin. But if you look at XRP and compare it with Bitcoin, it's performing magnificently well. Okay, so the truth is, even if Bitcoin were to drop, this coin may not do so as well. And again, there's a lot of good reasons why this coin is likely to go to the the $1 mark. Okay, so we're going to talk about that here in a minute. If you're new to the channel, though, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I do love teaching people how to trade. If you want to become a better trader, though, CryptoCash.tech is a site. We got a lot of new members coming over. Thank you so much for the wonderful feedback I've been receiving. Happy you like and enjoy the signals. They're profitable for you. Just know, make sure you check out my trading university. It's included in the membership. If you want to kind of learn how to become a better trader, I get a lot of questions about that, and I answer a majority of your questions with my my private training videos. Okay, just know that's available. Okay, so XRP on the daily. We can see here on the daily, just to clarify, we got some liquidity levels that have been swept. There is a lower liquidity level here at the 47 to 45, or sorry, 46 to 47 cent range. That could potentially need to get swept eventually. Okay, so again, Bitcoin has a really terrible day. We see 21,000 for Bitcoin to fill that CME gap. We might see that happen. Not saying that's going to be what it takes, because altcoins are suffering pretty bad right now. That's why it's nice to see XRP up. But the truth is that is still a lower liquidity level that we need to be mindful of. We are up over 70 on the RSI here with this coin. And if you take a look at its history, anytime it breaks up above 70, it spends a little bit of time there and then comes back down. It's not super common for XRP to stay overextended like it is right now. Okay? Obviously, there's fundamental catalysts that cause this to occur. But minus that, just regular traditional trading, we are looking at majority of the time it hits 70 and turns itself around. Okay, so just again, something to kind of think about there for the most part, with occasional outliers. Even this one isn't an outlier. That one just kind of pulled back a little bit, but it was barely up over 70, maybe at about 75. So again, history has a tendency of repeating itself. It doesn't have to, though, right? But for the most part, this coin is pretty consistent and not overextending itself, mainly because it makes small moves for the most part. But even when it starts making big moves, it doesn't go up over 70, 75. Okay? We're right there at about 75 and a half. So my speculation here is that the price action may pull back a little bit further to continue lower, but just be mindful this coin has a lot of potential. I mean, we could very well see it continue up much further in the 70, 80 cent range in the near future. My anticipation is that more longer term, we're going to see that $1 mark. Just know if we do see that $1 mark, we're going to be able to sweep this previous liquidity level, and that'll be a really, really nice thing. Okay, so leading into that, let's go ahead and talk about the moving averages. We're above all three. This is fantastic. We like to see this. This is an extremely important thing. Okay, so when it comes to moving averages, being above those is advantageous to say the least, right? So the price does end up pulling back. We got a lot of support accumulating here at this level, right there at about 53 to 54 cents. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and remove this Fibonacci level here. We'll go and draw out a new one here a little bit. Actually, let's go ahead and do that now, kind of see roughly what's next. And just know that we did reject off 1.618. Big surprise. If I ever got another tattoo, I would tattoo 0.618 on my body. Okay. The reason why I say that is because it's very consistent in not only nature, but trading as well. So 1.618, 0.618, 2.618, they're really, really common areas where the price will pull back or essentially just initially reject or bounce, obviously depending on the direction. So just know 62 cents is the new resistance level. Strong probability that we may not be able to see that level filled. What I'm waiting for, of course, is today's daily candle to close and kind of see there will be an upper liquidity level there that could be left remaining, and that could be swept. But generally speaking here, we're in a situation right now where we're looking still pretty decent. One thing to note too, though, we do have 3 white soldiers here essentially. You could argue that's 4, but that first one doesn't really count too much. But what that basically just means we have 3 strong green days. In other words, we're going to look at the continuation here and see if it's healthy or not. If it's an unhealthy continuation, then the price will likely pull back. If it's healthy, then it'll probably continue to sustain and continue higher. So what I mean by that is the staircase patterns are very healthy. Okay, so if you see the price action coming up over like this, that's a very positive sign. In other words, it allows a good 24-hour period, well, 12 to 24 hours, where the price consolidates before it legs up. Okay, so the truth is here, even though we are 72 hours of continuation of the upside, if you take a look at this here, we're getting a lot of nice little resets. We're hitting no more than 4s and 5s on every continuation. This is what we refer to as a healthy continuation. Okay, so to me, even though it seems very juicy and attractive to try to short right now, it may not be the best call considering the fact that it's continuing upwards in a very standard normalized fashion. Okay, those are things I like to look at. Take a look at volume though too as well. It'd be safe to presume we're seeing an increased amount of volume here, which we can see there. We're maintaining above this moving average here as well, which is great. So truth is, anytime you have the volume above a certain level, specifically this moving average on the volume indicator, you can kind of tell that the price action is going to stay in that range. So the probability of the price action, bouncing off this level here at 58.7 and going up is higher. In other words, we may have already seen that bounce. You see the price pull itself back here on the hourly probably. We can essentially continue higher from there. So the truth is here, this coin is looking fantastic and there's no other way around it. It's probably going to continue upwards before it comes any lower. So just be very careful shorting this coin is all I got to ask. I would recommend waiting for one more pump. And in fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I like to set alerts just above the previous liquidity levels to kind of see what that looks like. Now this isn't a liquidity level here just yet because it was mostly swept, but truth is these areas are commonly retested. And then once it hits that retest, that's when you want to consider shorting in this range here. Okay, so I would wait for the price to go a little bit further up before you consider shorting. It might just continue down and then we miss your opportunity. But you know what? The market is full of missed opportunities. So you better start getting used to it if you aren't already, because you're just going to miss out. And FOMO is a very real thing. I struggled with it for years. I don't care about it anymore, honestly, because I just know that there's going to be more doors that open. Okay, so try not to be the folk that is like, oh gosh, I missed my opportunity. It does suck when you miss, just say Bitcoin at 15,000, for example. That is unfortunate if you're trying to add to your spot bag. But if you want to do something like that, go ahead and do that right now. Add to your XRP if you'd like. I feel like we're probably going to see the price continue overall in the next few months to the upside. I don't really see 40 cents or lower happening right away. Okay. Just be mindful there. Anyways, conversation for another day. Let's summarize this here. I'm starting to get a little chatty. Looking at the RSI, we can see we're just kind of chilling, hanging out there at about 70 again. So we're at 70 on the RSI here, 75 on the daily. Once again, slightly more probability of the price pulling back because it's overextended. Again, this is a healthy continuation too, though, so it may not pull back right away. It's due for a correction, but I don't think it's going to happen right now. We are above all 3 moving averages. That's fantastic. Again, healthy continuation. Taking a look at the hourly. Let's note a couple things here really quick. Primarily the Ichimoku cloud and see if we still have room here. This is what's awesome about this continuation. You see how the lagging span keeps really close to the price action but keeps going up. Basically, if you have a long position open, this is like a dream come true, right? So truth is here, until the lagging span intersects with the price action, you effectively should leave your long position open. That's kind of the indication. Conversion line's above the baseline. Cloud is right there at that previous resistance / new support level. So all the more reason to not consider a short until this becomes extremely overextended. It could very well be doing that right now to try to ramp up one more time, that last little greed candle. And if so, I'm going to take this alert, reevaluate at the time, and jump on into a short trade with our community. And that's kind of how I like to do it. Set alerts, and once they trigger, I reevaluate and see if it's worth getting in. Yeah. We don't catch all the wins, but for the most part, that's essentially how we're able to take a lot of profit, is by waiting and being patient. Yes, there's missed opportunities, but again, I'm looking at 12 to 20 coins at any given time, and I have maybe 50 alerts available throughout the week, right? So plenty of opportunity depending on how you do it. I know not all of you have that time. That's where my trading signals maybe come in handy, but once more, different strokes for different folks. So the summary here is that the XRP is looking good. Okay, there's no other way around it, but I do think it's due for a correction here soon. That correction will either come now, which I think is less likely, or after it sweeps one last little bit of liquidity there, upwards of 1.618. So I'm looking for an entry 62 to 64 cents for a short as a consideration. Obviously, I'll reevaluate when we get there, but that is kind of what I'm looking at and hoping for. If it doesn't happen, all well and good. It'd actually be great if the price pulled back for XRP so you can add to your spot position, right? That's the whole concept, is to invest, not to gamble. So make sure that you're being careful, using good risk tolerance and good risk management. That said, I hope that you learned something here today. Thank you so much for joining me. Good. Greatly appreciate comment, like, subscribe, follow, not only down below, but also in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Really got some really good opportunities here. Good options, and just great people all around. So fantastic stuff. I greatly appreciate the help. Hope you all have a great rest of the day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.